The 6 o'clock Rock Report. Radio Nova.
Sell this to me. Are you looking forward to the residency? I mean, is that the way things are going now for our rock bands?
Well, I don't think so. I think they're little kind of detours in the road, if you like. You know, we're following in the footsteps of people like GNR, Motley, Cheap Trick, The Who. Literally just went through before we get there. I think they're coming back. You get these offers made, and it's like, do you want to come and play the entire Hysteria album in the Hard Rock? And it's like, we've played there before, and it was such a vibe. It was a great place to play. It's way more intimate than your regular gig.
Yeah.
But so that makes it kind of fun to do. So, yeah, I mean, are we about to turn into Wayne Newton? Probably not.
Or Celine Dion. Didn't she have a residency there at Caesars?
Well, yeah, she's got a 9-month residency. Yeah. When she goes off on her holidays, Elton takes over.
That's
so again,
right.
You know, I still consider Elton John a bit of a rocker myself.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I'm all for doing this because it just takes us out of the norm. I mean, you know, for 35 years or so, we've done nothing but tour, album. And the first time that we veered off that kind of path that is so traditionally does get a bit tedious was when we were offered this opportunity to do this show called Crossroads with Taylor Swift, which made people's heads spin like The Exorcist, you know. And they said, why the hell are you working with her? I said, well, why wouldn't you? You know, I mean, because it's different, you know. I mean, the whole point of Crossroad is to marry up two artists that are so instinctively different from each other.
Yeah.
Just to see if the kind of oil and water factor works, you know. And it was brilliant. And we had 4 fantastic days working with her, and we had a great show come out of it.
But that sort of
so
thing
when something like this comes along, you know, it's like we get an opportunity for once in our lives to actually go on tour without going on tour.
I know.
It's one trip in, one trip out, and it's a month in the same place, you know. And the beautiful thing about it is we get together and we can write because, you know, we're not working 7 days a week in this residency. It's only Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So essentially there's 4 days a week where we're going to be holed up in our own little mini recording studio writing songs for the next Leppard record. So it's a perfect opportunity to do 2 things at once.
So you got what? How many dates then in Vegas in the Hard Rock?
Started off as 9, but this residency goes to 11 now.
Oh, okay,
where
great.
Ticket sales were so good that they wanted to add 2 more shows, so we said, yeah, chuck them on at the end. And
okay, turn it up to 11.
This was a year off for us. It's now turned into a working year.
Okay, and how is the writing going then? Are you excited about that?
You know, I mean, literally, the rehearsals start today. So you've caught me, you know, at 11 a.m. or whatever it is, 11:30 over here. Rehearsals kick off in a couple of hours. So, you know, it'll be the first time I've seen anybody other than Sab since about September. So the first hour or 2 is just going to be coffee and chat.
Yeah.
And then let's fire up and play some of these songs that we haven't played for 25 years and see how they sound, you know. But I know everybody's been doing their homework. You can't just walk in and go, how does it go?
No, I know.
You know, I've been listening to these things. I've been rehearsing on my own with them. You know, I've got all the backing tracks without the vocals on, so I can, you know, I've been rehearsing in my studio on my own. It's just exactly the same thing. So I know where we are. When we walk in there, we'll be 2 days into this. We're like going, okay, we're ready already, you know.
Is it exciting to take the Hysteria album and play it in full live then?
Well, until I do it, I don't really know. But in my head, I think so, yeah, because I mean, there's a bit of pressure there because it's one hell of an album to try and replicate on
For
stage.
Sure, yeah.
But and with only 5 people, I mean, you notice a lot of bands, all due respect to them all, with the Stones or the Who. Some of them, I saw the Who once doing Quadrophenia, it was Quadrophenia, with 19 people on stage.
Yeah.
You know, and we're doing this with 5. So, you know, but we do work really hard to get as good as we are. So.
Is there anything on the album, Joe, that you're kind of going, I actually don't really like that song anymore. It doesn't stand up.
In fairness, over the years, we've regularly played on and off at least 7 of the 11 tracks.
Right.
12 tracks.
Right.
There's 4 songs there's 3 songs we haven't played since '88.
Yeah.
There's 4 songs that Vivian's never played. And the rest of them are all kind of just in a little kind of sleepy mode in the back of our minds, and they just need waking up, that's all. So I'm not worried about it by any means. I'm really looking forward to it because the exciting thing is for us is we're actually going to be our own opening act.
You're your own opening act. How does that work?
Well, because we're playing Hysteria I say hopefully note for note and specifically in the order that it is on the record, everybody knows what's coming next.
Yeah.
once we start. And as much fun as that's going to be, it gives us a fantastic opportunity. When we go on stage at, say, 8 p.m., we're going to do a 45-minute set of songs that are not from Hysteria. So, yeah, there'll be Let's Get Rocked, Photograph, Rock of Ages type stuff. But we're going so deep that we're going back to 1978. We're going back to High and Dry, On Through the Night. We're going to play, and we've got a pool of songs it's so big that we can actually, for the first 3 shows, play a totally different set before we do Hysteria.
That's incredible. That's great. I mean, for fans, they're going to be made out, aren't they?
Every night. So every single, and there are, I mean, we've seen that, some of the fan responses to putting the tickets on sale. There are people that have actually bought tickets for all 11 shows.
Oh my God. What?
So, for those people alone, the fact that they're going to get a different set every night before we do Hysteria is what's going to be the fun of it. And then when we finish, I can slag off the headline act. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's me.
That's you. Yeah.
And then when I go on as headline act, I can slag off
the support.
And then it's going to be fun. And the problem with this business when you're in it a long time, it does end up sometimes becoming not fun. And this puts the joy back in it because it's so different to what we've ever done before. And in fairness, if there's a negative, sometimes you get the odd bit of, when you put it on, the information goes out on the web and it goes on the websites that are all to do with rock stations or whatever, and there'll be the odd comment going, why won't they come and do it in England? It's not a case of you don't just turn up with a van like Scooby-Doo and say, well, we're going to play. There has to be an infrastructure of like an invitation to play. And so if the opportunity to do this if there was a Vegas in England, it would be Blackpool, sadly, wouldn't it? But, if there was an invitation to do it anywhere, we'd obviously take it very, very seriously because it's something that I'm sure a lot of Irish, English, European kids want to hear. I mean, for example, you go on our website and have a look now, you can see, because we've put the Vegas thing up and we're doing it, we've started getting some really serious offers in from Europe. So we're actually we're doing the Vegas set, if you like, in Nantes, in France on the 21st of June at a festival, and then we're doing 5 more Spanish shows after that.
And what about this side then? Will we get to see, I mean, obviously not the residency kind of stuff, but will we get to see it this year, do you think?
I don't know. There's nothing in yet. What is it? It's March. I mean, look, we aren't one of these kind of bands that has to wait a year to plan everything. We don't mind an 8-week, opening spot. If there's a spot somewhere to do, if there's a festival to be done, and say Dennis or Jamaican or whoever makes an approach, hopefully Dennis, he's godfather to my child.
Oh yeah, okay.
If something comes along, then we will. But it's got to work. You can't put us on a festival that's got Mumford and Sons. It's not going to work. So it's got to be like-minded bands. And if there isn't anything going off, then there's nothing to do. But it doesn't mean that we won't do it next year. And the important thing about this is that we weren't supposed to be working in Europe this year anyway. So anything is a bonus. But, the point is that we're not going away. We're going to be writing for a new record, which means that we're obviously going to put one out, that we're going to tour, and hopefully then that will bring, us back to the O2 or somewhere like that. Because the last couple of gigs that we've done at the O2, the ones we did with Whitesnake, the ones that we did on Journey, and the ones that we did with Lizzie and Alice Cooper, they were brilliant gigs, very well received, and it's such a buzz to play that place in front of what is now my adopted hometown.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like I would love to do it, but you have to wait for things to just percolate, and this moment in time, the Vegas thing is just going through the roof because it's really gone rock and roll. It has a reputation that's hard to shake when it's, but Sammy, Dino and Frankie have all been dead 20-odd years. And it's like, come on, the Blue Rinse Brigade that used to go and watch them have all died off. The people now that are going to Vegas to blow all their hard-earned cash on casino chips and stuff, they're all fans of Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Bon Jovi and U2 and R.E.M. and Motorhead, you name it. And so they're bringing those kind of bands in. Or they're going, not U2, of course, but who knows what you're going to get. I did an interview the other day where I said I wouldn't be surprised if I saw adverts for Slipknot and the Foo Fighters doing this one day because it's okay to do it now. You know what I mean? It's
Well, when
like
you've got a
somebody
venue
broke
as cool as the Joint is there, and I've been to a gig there, I know what it's like. It's very, very cool. Vegas is a party town, and you know it's all very rock and roll now. Hey, listen, it's going to be a good run for you guys. And what's nice, it must be kind of nice to think, okay, 11 dates, one spot, don't have to go anywhere, beauty. It must save a shitload of cash, does it?
I don't know about cash. The setup fees to do the gig in the first place is expensive, but it does save a lot. I mean, considering the amount of... When we tour, there's normally like 9 trucks, 12 buses, and when you consider that gas prices in America have tripled, you can, but ticket prices haven't, it does chew into a lot of the it's a lot of the profit, if you like, and it is a very expensive thing to run a tour. Doing it this way around, it's a little easier. Yeah. The most important thing is it's the travel that we don't have to do. The fact that all we've got to do is take a service elevator out of the gig and, into a van and over the road to a hotel or whatever. There's no travel involved. You get real rest, you know.
Yeah.
So, and we're also doing the rock and roll fantasy camp while we're there as well, which helps kids along with music. You're going for 4 hours with these bunch of kids that could kind of play, and you go, right, we're going to write a song right now, and we're going to record it, and we're going to play it for your parents in 4 hours' time. And it's all for charity, and it's such a vibe.
Oh,
and
good. Okay, because I was looking at the price of that. It's pretty steep, isn't it? Like $6,000 or something.
It is, but like I said, to me, I think it's worth it for them because what they get back out of it. I mean, I was just looking at some footage a friend of mine said the other day. Got Sammy Hagar playing like Bad Motor Scooter with a bunch of like 10, 12-year-old kids.
Brilliant, yeah.
Santana has just recently done it, and Jeff Beck's doing it this week with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
That's cool.
So
Jesus, that's cool.
Top-notch people going in there to do this kind of stuff, and it's not cheap, but the expenses to bring the people in is not that easy either. But the fact is that a lot of this it's for kids that really need this kind of encouragement, and I think anybody that can. If just one kid out of the 500 or 600 that go through during the week, because they're all different rooms with different people, if one kid just gets that spark and becomes the next Edge or he becomes the next, Eddie Van Halen or whatever, then it's worth it.